Hello and welcome back to another episode by Peaky Boardgamer. My name is Hector and today I will teach you how you can play the game Forest Shuffle. This is an addictive card game by Lookout Games for 2 to 5 players that takes about an hour. I will now explain the rules, so don't go anywhere. In the game, each player creates a personal forest by playing tree cards and then attaching to these trees animals, bugs, birds, mushrooms, etc. On your turn, you have two options, either to draw cards or play one card in your forest. Non-tree cards are split to two parts, each depicting a species. When you play them, you choose one of these by sliding the card to the appropriate side of a tree. All cards give you immediate bonuses, but most importantly, a scoring opportunity based on conditions. When the last winter card is drawn, the game ends immediately and the player that accumulates the most points wins in Forest Shuffle. At first, place the clearing board in the middle of the table. Take all game cards and separate the 3 winter cards. Then remove from the deck a number of cards at random depending on your player count. For example, in a 3 players game, remove 20 cards. All removed cards are placed back in the box without looking them. Shuffle all remaining cards and split them to 3 similar decks. In one of these decks, shuffle 2 of the winter cards and place the third one on top of it. Finally, put the other 2 split decks on top of that one and place the entire deck in this area of the clearing. Each player takes a cave card, placing it in their play area. The personal play area of players is the player's forest. Each player takes 6 cards from the deck and keep them secret from other players. This is the player's hand. Choose a player at random to be the starting player and the game is now ready to start. A short pause in the video here to remind you that if you haven't done already, please subscribe to this channel. It costs nothing but really makes a difference to me and this channel. Also hit that bell button so you get notified of all our future videos. Players alternate turns starting with the first player and continuing clockwise until the end of the game. On your turn you have 2 options. Either draw 2 cards or play 1 card into your forest. Whenever you choose to draw cards for your turn, you draw them one at a time, either from the face down deck or from the clearing in any combination. Important, players have a hand limit of 10 cards which can never be exceeded. If, for example, you have 9 cards in your hand and you must draw 2 cards, you can only draw 1. As game progresses, eventually you will draw one of the winter cards. As the card suggests, when you draw a winter card, you set it next to the clearing board, visible to all players, and draw the next card immediately. There are 3 winter cards in the deck. Very important, once the third card is drawn, the game ends immediately and you move to scoring. You don't even get to complete your turn. Before I explain the second option, which is to play a card, let's analyze the cards we can find in the deck. There are 2 main card types, trees and forest dwellers. Tree cards show 1 tree, while forest dweller cards are split in 2 parts, either horizontally or vertically. Every species belongs to at least 1 species type, indicated by this symbol here, and there are 11 different species types in total. Here we see a tree card, and this card is split to an insect butterfly part and an amphibian part. All species are also linked to a color, which is indicated by this pictogram here. There are 8 different colors. This tree is red, the butterfly is green, and the frog is brown. All species have a cost depicted here. The sycamore tree has a cost of 2, while the butterfly and the frog have 0 cost. Species appear in the deck in many copies, but not the same number for every species. This is indicated by this little number here. There are 6 sycamore trees in the deck, 4 purple emperor butterflies and 3 tree frogs. Finally, the bottom part of all species award instant bonuses, ongoing effects, but most of them have a scoring bonus for final scoring based on conditions. For example, each sycamore tree I have in my forest during final scoring will worth points equal to the total number of trees in my forest. The purple emperor will grant points depending on the number of different butterflies I have in my forest. And the tree frog grants 5 points per gnat species in my forest, which is this species here. Of course, I cannot explain every power found in cards, but these are self-explanatory, and the game also includes 14 reference cards with clarifications of all species in alphabetical order. I will explain some of these cards in final scoring as well. So, when you choose to play a card, you must first pay the cost of the species you want to play. When you play split cards, you choose one of the two species. The cost is cards. Other cards that you must discard from your hand. So to play this tree, I must discard 2 cards. The discarded cards are then placed face up in the clearing board. Then you play the card in your forest. If it's a tree, it is placed alone anywhere in your forest. Every tree gives you 4 available slots to play other non-tree species in the future. If you play a non-tree species, it must be attached to a corresponding empty side of any tree in your forest. This species must be played on the left slot of a tree, while this one on the right slot. Similarly, this species must be placed on a top slot and that one on a bottom slot. When you play non-tree species, you slide the non-chosen side beneath the tree like this. In this example, I cannot play this mushroom because it must be played in the bottom of a tree and there is no slot available. Make note that you don't have to complete all slots of a tree in order to play a new one. You can also play cards in your forest using the sapling side. It has no color but acts as a tree, giving you additional slots to play other cards. Very important! After you play a tree or a sapling, you immediately draw the top card from the deck and add it to the clearing board face up. This is also indicated on the board. After you play a card, you must check for any immediate effects granted by the chosen species. For example, this owl has an effect, and that is to draw 1 card. Important! Whenever you draw cards as a result of a card's effect, these cards must be drawn from the top of the deck and never from the clearing. You can only draw cards from the clearing when you spend a turn to draw 2 cards. This symbol here means that the species has an additional conditional bonus. To get this bonus, you must pay the cost of this card using cards of the depicted color only, so green in this case. If I spent these 2 cards as the cost to play the owl, both of the cards have at least one of their part in green, and thus the bonus will apply and I will draw 3 cards in total. Some cards like this beetle only have a bonus and not a free effect. The dark grey area of the bottom part of the species indicates a scoring ability for final scoring. Effects and bonuses are not that many. You can pause the video now to check them out. Important! At the end of your turn, if there are 10 or more cards in the clearing board, you must remove all of them and place them back into the box. All players also have a cave. In scoring, players will gain 1 point for every card placed there. In the base game, there are only 2 species that interact with the cave. For example, when you play the brown bear, you place all cards from the clearing into your cave. After the 3rd winter card is revealed, you move to scoring straight away. In scoring, each player calculates the score granted by all played cards plus the points from your cave. I will now demonstrate a scoring example for the forest of this player. First, you start counting the score that comes from your trees. Sycamore scores 1 point for each tree in your tableau. So this tree should score 3 points. However, I have a bee attached to this tree, and this bee makes the tree where it's attached to count as 2 trees of the same type. So I actually have 4 trees with 2 sycamores. So I score 2 times 4, 8 points. Then I have a silver fir which scores 2 points for each card attached to it. There are 5 cards attached and this tree scores 10 points. Every beech tree scores 5 points if there are at least 4 beaches in your forest. Unfortunately, I have only one, so I score no points. Thus, the total from my trees is 18 points. Now we'll calculate the score from species attached to the top or bottom of my trees. Butterflies have similar scoring. You score victory points depending on the number of different butterflies you have. I have 2 different butterflies, so for all of them I will score 3 victory points. From the chaffinch I will score 5 victory points if it is attached to a beech, which is the case, and this bird scores me 5 points. Next we have common toads. The reason I have attached 2 of them in the same tree is because the common toad allows it. In final scoring, they score 5 points if you have attached 2 in the same tree, which is the case, so each cod scores 5 points. Finally, the hedgehog scores 2 victory points for each butterfly species in your forest. I have 2, so it scores 4 points. So I have scored 22 points in this category, and now we'll calculate the score that comes from species attached to the left or right of my trees. The bee has no scoring ability, the same as the brown bear. This bat scores 5 points if you have at least 3 different bat species in your forest. This is also the same for this bat as well. I have 2 different bat species, so both of these cods score 0 points. The fallow deer scores 3 points for each cloven-hoofed animal placed in my forest. The fallow deer counts as 1, and I also have a wild boar, so that cod gives me 6 points. Finally, the wild boar would score me 10 points if there was a squeaker in my forest, however there is none, so I score 0 from that as well. So from this category I just scored 6 points from the fallow deer. Finally, you score 1 point for each cod in your cave. I have 5, and my total score is this. The player with the most victory points wins the game. If there is a tie, then all tied players share their victory. And that were the rules of Forest Shuffle. If you like our videos and want to see more, please subscribe to our channel. Until next time, have fun and play more board games.